Hey gang, today's project is a quick and inexpensive upgrade that you guys can do yourself in a really short amount of time. Shouldn't cost you hardly any money, shouldn't take a lot of time at all. So as you can see, we're out here with the Quadra Suburban. Obviously this will work for any Suburban or even any SUV for that matter. What I've got here is, you can see, I've got this roll of 6 foot by 8 foot indoor outdoor carpeting. I picked up a roll of this from Home Depot for around 25 bucks plus tax. And what I'm gonna do is we're going to cut this so that we basically are making ourselves a poor man's version of a floor covering to protect the carpet in this, because we use our vehicles, we use our SUVs, they're eventually going to get dirty, and rather than dirtying the factory carpet, we're just going to use this inexpensive indoor outdoor carpet so that when it gets really bad, instead of having to pull the carpet out of the whole vehicle, which is a gigantic production to clean it, we can just pull this one out, throw it away, and get a new one. So before we start, we got to do a few basic things to get going. And number one thing, obviously, pull your third row seat out if you have one, and then go ahead and grab a vacuum and suck up all the little dirt and Cheerios and goldfish crackers and all that random stuff that's back here. We want to have a nice clean work surface to finish with. Also, if you've got any stains in the back, this is a good time to address them. I'm a fan of brake cleaner. I use this for everything, including my own hands. I know you're probably not supposed to use that, but hey, my hands are still baby smooth and soft, or at least that's what my girlfriend tells me. But at any rate, just a little quick spritz on the carpet. It won't melt your carpet, generally speaking. Like, I'm going to do it right here on this. And see, I'm that confident, and I've already done it before anyway. So it's not going to melt your carpet. It might smell a little bit, but use just a little spritz of brake cleaner like that and give it a good scrub with a rag, and you'll get any of those oily, greasy stains out of there. I'm going to go ahead and do this, clean it up, vacuum it out, and we'll be ready for the next step. Okay, so our next step is we're going to take our carpet and get it cut roughly to the right ballpark size, and then we can fine tune it from there. As you can see, we got a pretty good match. The neutral interior on this Suburban is very close to this taupe colored carpet from Home Depot. Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace Hardware, they all carry similar to these indoor outdoor carpets. They're all between 20 and 30 bucks. They usually have them in black, gray, taupe, different colors like that. In this case, pick the color that's closest to your interior, and make sure that it's big enough. Obviously, a Suburban is going to be one of the largest ones you're dealing with, and we've got about 47 inches between these two interior trim panels. So you could get away with a 48 inch, 4 foot wide piece of carpeting, but I opted for the larger one because what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it extra long, and I'm going to use a putty knife to just tuck this underneath these trim panels, and that's going to kind of help hold it into place. At any rate, first thing we got to do is we've got to just ballpark, get this thing rough cut to shape. So what I'm going to do is lay the carpet out here in the back and get it positioned where I want it. And then I got a piece of chalk, and I'm going to just use a chalk mark to show where the edges are. And then I'm going to bring it out of the vehicle, and I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to give myself a good 3 or 4 inches of extra on either side. I want plenty of extra because I can fine tune it. I can always cut more off. You can't add it back on once it's been cut. Also, if the rear cargo area of your vehicle is symmetrical, like the 800 series Suburbans like this one, it's sometimes easier and maybe even a better idea to lay it in upside down, so you can put your chalk marks on the back, so then they're definitely not going to show. If you've got a non-symmetrical back end like the 400 series Suburbans and earlier that have like a spare tire back here, or like the Excursions do, then flipping it upside down isn't going to help you, and you're going to want to do it right side up and use your chalk and just make light marks so that it doesn't show and you have less cleanup. But in this case, it's symmetrical. I'm going to flip it upside down, mark it, rough cut it, we'll bring it back out and trim it. It's advisable to use a straight edge to get a nice crisp line where the floor meets the trim panel. And also, you can see here I'm using my level to space out my cut line from the line that I marked in order to give me plenty of material to tuck under the trim panel. All right, now that our rough cut is complete, we're gonna fine tailor it a little bit more here. Now, I plan to tuck it under my trim on both sides, and in the back, on the Suburbans at least, this plastic trim just lifts straight up with these little push clips. So if you're careful, you can hopefully get it up without breaking too many of these. This way, I only have to really worry about tucking the carpet underneath the trim on the sides, and this piece can be the last part that I install to hold it down. Now, something that may be helpful to do on the bottom side, I kind of marked a little arrow pointing toward the back here because, you know, it's big, it's square, and it's only a slight flare out at the front end of the carpet, so it would be easy to accidentally put it in the wrong way, and then all of this measuring, you could accidentally cut the wrong side, the wrong dimension, and you'd have to start all over. I mean, you'd only be out 25 bucks for a piece of carpet, but it's better to don't, right? So we're gonna get this laid in roughly here. And then once we've got it ballpark centered up, and actually, that's a good point here. What I also recommend, if you've got a symmetrical carpet area like this one, let's fold this in half. See, this is just stuff I'm coming up with on the fly here. Fold it in half and then mark the center point. So I'm marking my center point here, and now I'm also going to grab a tape measure and we're going to mark the center point of the vehicle as well. So that way we can get the carpet centered up side to side here. Okay. .46, so 23 and 1/8 is going to be our center point. I'm just going to lay down a nice little chalk mark, nice little V pointing to the center. There. That will make it easier to center up the rear part of this carpet. So I'm going to put my fold, the center of the fold right there, and lay it out flat. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, now I'm purposely going to pull it too far back because it's easier to pull the carpet towards me than it is to push it. Now I'm going to come around and I'm going to pull the carpet right up into my final position here. And what I've decided on is just shy of where the floorboard starts to roll over forward here, because I want to have enough material to tuck under, and I also want enough material in front of, on the Suburban, there's all these cutouts in the floorboard for where the third row seat bolts in. So I want to make sure that I've got enough material that I can make that cut without it having like a big open flap on the front end. I want to have a nice continuous edge. So I'm pulling this right up to where it curls over. And then I'm going to ballpark work this around until it's about equal amounts of material on either side. So that way I know what's in here is pretty straight. Okay. So I've got that where I like it. So now, using my cleanest dirty putty knife, I'm going to start working this carpet underneath the trim panel. All right, so as you can see, we got the carpet laid into place, and as you saw from the time-lapse video, in this case, I ended up not being able to just tuck it under like I hoped. I ended up having to pop the trim off its fasteners just a little bit. On the 800 series Suburbans, there's two of these little plastic Christmas trees that you can remove with the best ways is one of these nylon trim removal tools. But otherwise, you can get away with it with a screwdriver if you're really careful. But once you've got the Christmas tree pulled out, about 3 or 4 inches back from this air intake for the HVAC unit, there's a stud that sticks up from the floor, and there's a clip from the plastic trim that goes around it. And that was interfering with getting the carpet material to tuck underneath. So in this case, we didn't have to remove the panels entirely, but by getting them just loose enough that we could pull it up and tuck the carpet underneath, I was able to lay the carpet in a lot nicer. So the next thing we need to do is we need to make a few holes in the carpet for the third row seat attachment points as well as the cargo tie downs. I'm going to do that using a really sharp carpet knife here. Now basically, if you can take a little peek underneath, kind of see what you're dealing with. I got one cut out right here. So the way that the factory does it is they kind of make an H cut. And that way the flap is able to go down in this little tie down point. So I'm just gonna use my razor knife. I'm gonna actually start from the middle because I can always widen the hole if I'm starting from the middle. So once I've got it started, I'm just gonna open it up a little bit at a time until I've got it at the right width. And I'm being very careful not to cut the carpet underneath the actual vehicle carpet, because this whole project is because we want to preserve the vehicle carpet and not damage it. Okay, so once we've got our cut made, I'm just going to kind of open up the H a little bit, start making a flap. So it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. The main thing is to not damage the underlying carpet here. All right, so once we get our cut made and all cleaned up, I'm just going to tuck those little flaps in, and we're just like factory at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat that for all the other hold down points, and we'll get into the final steps after that. All right, with our holes cut in the carpet for our tie downs and other access points and stuff like that, the last thing to do, we need to trim the carpet back a little bit in order for it to clear these little hold down spots. So basically, this is going to be just mainly using the razor knife to follow the contour of the factory carpet. Now, I've got my cut mainly done. I'm going to go ahead and finish this up off camera. But basically just, you need to trim it back enough that the trim piece is going to hold it down, but the carpet is going to be long enough to be held in place by the trim without interfering with the trim piece, if that makes sense. And now we're ready to reinstall our trim piece. In this case, I like to check and make sure all the little clips are still on the way they're supposed to be, because sometimes these little metal clips, especially on the GM, can come loose or whatever. But once you can verify those are all good to go, you just get it worked into place, and just with firm hand pressure, work it down until all those clips are fully seated. And here you can see the finished product. Is it as good as a WeatherTech mat? Probably not. Definitely not. But is it orders of magnitude cheaper? You better believe it. This is going to protect the carpet of the Suburban from all those little spills and dirt and nasty stuff. And it may not look exactly factory, but for the casual observer, they may not catch it. And if you have a vehicle where the carpet is trashed and you can't afford a good new carpet for it yet, this is a really cheap way to get yourself some decent looking carpet. And it only took an hour, maybe two, to get this whole project done. So this is a nice, cheap way to protect your carpet or upgrade an existing nasty carpet. Here you can see the front edge of the finished product and how it's held in place by the third row seat. And we had enough leftover material when we were done in order to make a nice runner that will protect the floor in the odd-shaped area in the footwell of the third row. So there you have it, gang. Our cheap carpet upgrade is complete. We've got a total of $25 and 2 hours worth of labor in this. And, obviously if you're paying someone to do it, it doesn't really make sense, but anybody can do this themselves. All you need is just a razor blade or a razor knife, some good sharp scissors, piece of chalk, or even a pencil. This is not that difficult, and you don't even have to get as involved as I did. If you don't want to be messing with trim panels and worrying about breaking plastic fasteners, it is totally cool. You can just cut out a rectangle that's the same size as your cargo area. In this case, behind the third row seat is 32 by 48 wide. And something else to do, when you're at the big box store looking for this indoor-outdoor carpeting in the same area, usually they've got commercial floor mats. And so if you're blessed with a vehicle that has black interior or maybe one of the gray interiors, there's a lot of commercial floor mats in different sizes that come pre-cut and pre-made for sizes that might fit your SUV. So it's worth checking that out too, because that might save you a lot of time. Just be able to get a commercial floor mat and throw it back there. Those things are, 20, 30 bucks and they last forever. So again, you don't have to get crazy with this. And It can be done simply. If you have the carpet ahead of time, you can do it in one of those awkward amounts of time. If you get home from work early, or you got something to do later on, and you don't want to get involved in a big project, this is a nice, easy project that you can just putter away on as you're able. And when you get to one of those points where you've got to drop it and do something else, you just take the carpet out, roll it up, and throw it in the garage, and you come back to it a little bit later. But at any rate, I hope I have inspired you guys to be able to do a nice cheap carpet protection for your own vehicle, or even to upgrade a nasty, dirty, torn, stained carpet. I also am looking forward to bringing you guys some more content in the future. I know I've been slacking off. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get back on the horse here, get you some more content. But in the meantime, like, subscribe, comment. It helps me out, helps feed that algorithm, get me some more views. And the more views I get, the more it enables me to bring you more content. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. Hope you learned something. We'll catch you guys next time on Old School Automotive.